Holy crap! You are creepy as
So here at the Daily Wire, a debate has been going on between Matt Walsh and Michael Knowles about UFOs and the possibility of alien life. And so we wanted to get somebody intelligent to solve the debate, so that's why I'm doing this video. The video is brought to you by ExpressVPN. Visit expressvpn.com/Andrew Klavan Show to get an extra 3 months free on a 1-year package. So let's take a look. There were hearings, obviously, in Congress where sexy Nancy Mace was talking to a former intelligence officer who claims that they have found evidence of alien life. Here is a clip of this. I played this on my Friday show as well.
If you believe we have crashed craft, stated earlier, do we have the bodies of the pilots who piloted this craft?
As I've stated publicly already in my News Nation interview, biologics came with some of these recoveries, yeah.
Were they, I guess, human or non-human biologics?
Non-human, and that was the assessment of people with direct knowledge on the program I talked to that are currently still on the program.
And was this documentary evidence, this video, photos, eyewitness? Like, how would that be determined?
The specific documentation I would have to talk to you in a skiff about.
So we wanted to find some intelligent people to react to this, but we just couldn't. So here's what Michael Knowles had to say about it.
A former intelligence official turned whistleblower has given Congress and the intelligence community inspector general extensive classified information about deeply covert programs that he says possess retrieved, intact, and partially intact craft of non-human origin. He goes on and explains why he's convinced this is ET. He says, analysis has determined that the objects retrieved are of exotic origin, non-human intelligence, whether extraterrestrial or unknown origin, based on the vehicle morphologies and material science testing and the possession of unique atomic arrangements and radiological signatures. Okay. No, that's not real. If there is anything that kind of resembles aliens in the world, and this is a hard pill to swallow, and they're demons. Aliens almost certainly do not exist. There is zero evidence whatsoever for aliens existing.
All right, so that was Michael Knowles, and I would like to react to what he said, but I wasn't listening because it's Knowles.
Everything you're saying is going in one ear and out the other.
But he feels there's no evidence for aliens existing. Now, obviously, that's true. We don't have any evidence in front of us, unless what this guy was telling Sexy Nancy is true. We don't have any evidence in front of us for there being aliens, but that doesn't mean we can't speculate on whether there would be or not. So we wanted to find somebody intelligent to do that. But again, I don't know if the phones were broken. I don't know what was going on. We just couldn't find anybody. So here's what Matt Walsh has to say.
Is there intelligent life? I'll go even further. Is there life at all on other planets? The one argument that drives me the craziest is this one. They say, Michael, it's just probable. It's just probability. In modernity, we're told we're not special. Look, there's probably a zillion other of us. And my only point is, maybe that's true, but we have no evidence. We have no reason to believe that we're not special.
Michael's wrong on this. The argument he dismisses, the argument that comes from just the vastness of the universe is what tells us that there's probably life on it. That's not only a good argument, it's actually decisive. And the propagandists on the anti-alien side have never come up with a good answer to it.
You sit on a throne of lies.
So Michael says, well, there's no reason to think that there is life. You know, we've been to one planet, all of us. This one. The only planet we've ever been to has life on it. We know that there are trillions of other planets. On what basis could we possibly assume that none of the other ones are anything like this one? If you say that, then you're the one that has to bring the evidence.
So I'm shocked. That was Walsh almost making sense. I think that it obviously is true. Here's the thing on Knowles' argument. Before Europeans found the New World, there was no evidence that there was a world over the ocean. Even Columbus didn't know it until he bumped into it. So the story of human life has always been finding things beyond what we knew before. And it is true, it seems to me, that the odds are that there is alien life. Space is so extensive, so vast, that there should be other planets conducive to life, even if life is limited to what we know, because it's entirely possible that there are non-carbon forms of life. We just don't know any of these things. Invisible lives, if you've read the Martian Chronicles, there may be invisible lives. We just don't know. So I think that there is some kind of sense. I know this is shocking to many of you, but there is some kind of sense to what Walsh was saying. Did you ever read the fine print that appears when you start browsing in incognito mode? It says that your activity might still be visible to your employer, your school, your internet security provider. How can they even call it incognito? To really stop people from seeing the sites you visit, you need to do what I do and use ExpressVPN. Think about all the time you've used Wi-Fi at a coffee shop, a hotel, even at your house. Without ExpressVPN, every site you visit could be logged by the admin of that network. That's still true even when you're in incognito mode. What's more, your home internet provider can also see and record your browsing data. In the US, they're legally allowed to sell that data to advertisers. ExpressVPN is an app that encrypts all of your network data and reroutes it through a network of secure servers so that your private online activity stays just that, private. ExpressVPN works on all your devices. It's super easy to use. The app literally has one button. You tap it to connect, and your browsing activity is secure from prying eyes. Make sure your online activity and data is protected with the best VPN. Visit expressvpn.com/Andrew Klavan Show to get an extra 3 months free on a 1-year package. That's expressvpn.com/Andrew Klavan Show. expressvpn.com/Andrew Klavan Show.
If you asked me today, put $50,000 on do aliens exist or not, I'd say they do not.
But that determination on your part is almost entirely theological.
Part of it is I never got into aliens. Even when I was an atheist, I was like, hey, man, I don't really think there's aliens. And it's like, because they'd always be like, but the universe is big. And I was like, well, okay, whatever. It's like, it's big and sterile.
I know you don't find the universe is big argument to be compelling. I think it is because of just how we're talking about 100 billion galaxies or more in the observable universe.
Yeah.
100 billion galaxies, 100 billion stars in each galaxy, give or take.
Yeah.
You know, let's say 5 or 6 planets on average around each star. How many planets does that make?
Yeah, no, I mean, let's say there's like a gazillion planets. The fact that there's a bunch of rocks does not, to me, imply that there's life on any of them.
The fact that I'm on the side of Matt Walsh is just something I'm going to have to deal with my priest, probably confession, maybe even flagellation. But I think that Walsh is just making a logical point, and he's right that Knowles is being theological and not logical. I think that the idea that God that it is somehow anti-biblical, that there is life elsewhere, is just wrong. I mean, there's nothing, the Bible is about things that are happening on earth. But I think that one of the most interesting things, for instance, that could happen is if we were to discover life on other planets and it turned out to be just like us, that would be a strong, strong argument against the randomness of evolution. I've always said that people who say evolution is a random system can't possibly know what they're talking about because you can't tell if something's random, if a system is random from within the system. The randomness or the pattern is outside of the system. It controls the system. So you can't know if you're stuck in the system if that system is random.
I'm in the system. You're in the system. The system?
So evolution, may be random, but in fact, if we went to another planet and people look just like us, we would have to say, oh, it's not random at all. There is, in fact, a system of creation, and it just happens to be bigger than simply this planet. But I think, to go to Walsh and to go to Knowles, it's like talking to like an ashtray and a rock. We want to talk to somebody who really knows something. I think we have to go to the QAnon shaman, and luckily Knowles, because he had nothing better to do, talk to him about this issue as well.
You say you've seen UFOs. Is it you believe in aliens or no? They're not aliens.
Okay, so look at it like this. Do you believe in angels and demons?
Yes.
Okay, angels and demons are interdimensional entities. UFOs or extraterrestrials are interdimensional entities. We are talking about entities that exist in dimensions that are layered on top of our own, but that we don't perceive with our 5 senses. This is part of the role of the shaman.
So you're saying, this is what I say. I say either people are just imagining the alien stuff or they're demons. And you're basically saying that I'm right and Matt Walsh is wrong.
No, what I'm saying is that they're angels or demons, and you can judge a tree by its fruits. Now think about it. In the Bible, whenever anybody saw an angel, what was one of the first things the angel said?
Be not afraid.
Be not afraid. Yeah. Yes, exactly. Because when you experience these things, it is so boundary dissolving. It is so intimidating because it's so interdimensionally incredible that the first inclination is to be afraid. An evil interdimensional entity wants people to be afraid because they feed on that.
So I'm glad that Knowles finally found somebody at his intellectual level to discuss things with. I hope he doesn't actually start wearing the horns, because the idea of a horny Knowles is just unthinkable. But I think the important thing here to think about is whether or not these aliens have visited us. And there, I have to say, I think the odds are strongly against, but not entirely against. I think that the way we look at time and space now, the traversing of the distances between planets is not impossible, but close to impossible. However, I strongly believe that we do not have the slightest notion of how vast the complexities of space and time are. We don't even know what space is. We talk about the possibility of wormholes. We talk about the possibility of folding space. All of those things are possibilities, and maybe even beyond. Maybe the fact that we can, flash from one place to another ultimately. We simply do not know the kinds of things that can be done. And that's a religious principle. Jesus says that I have performed miracles, but the things that you are going to do are going to be even greater than the miracles I performed. And I believe that. I believe him when he says it, because he's the Son of God and the Word of God made flesh. And so when he says things, I kind of believe him. So I think that the idea that what we have seen so far is all we are going to see is simply not really theologically sound. Ooh, burn! I think that the advent of Jesus is simply God breaking through to our sphere, and the idea that that breakthrough is everything that we're going to see is ridiculous. I don't think that's theologically sound at all. So I think the idea of the vast universe suggests the possibility of alien life. I think that the idea that alien life has visited us is suspect, more because if you had alien life capable of traveling the distances it would have to be capable to get here, I doubt that their plane would stall just as it got over Earth and crash and be taken in to someplace in Nevada. That just doesn't sound really, it's always in the movies, alien life always shows up and they're savages. They're just here to conquer people or steal our women. But really, you have to think, for a race like us, or like our race, to even survive to the point where we could develop the kind of technology needed to traverse the vast ranges of space, they'd also have to be kind of peaceable. They'd have to reach a place where they have found a way to live with one another. And then I think that the two possibilities are they haven't reached us yet, and they have reached us, but they don't want to interfere with our development. I have answered this question for you. Walsh is right about the possibilities. Walsh is also right that the theological thinking that this can't be is unsound. And I would like to know where to get that horn hat. Other than that, I have nothing else to add. All right, that's about aliens. If you'd like a free anal probe, like and subscribe. I'm kidding. But you should also subscribe to The Andrew Klavan Show wherever you get your podcasts.